Welcome to the Devil Fruit Podcast. This is the last episode of fucking Parasyte.
Yeah.
It's been a
Yes,
fucking it's been a trip. It's been a long ass trip. And honestly, I'm happy that we're finishing this one up.
Yep, you're right. Here, because this is such a big moment, I'm making this full screen. I just want to see your two faces while we have a good buddy talk about the ending of this show. Because,
okay.
man,
it's
got me thinking.
If I may, out the gate, first, we'll get this first episode out of the way.
Did we even say welcome to the Devil Fruit?
I literally did.
Yeah.
I literally did.
You did a
Ooh, welcome.
Welcome to
Okay.
Yeah.
I am behind tonight.
All right.
Drink that
So-
coffee.
so-
Jacob, keep talking.
Out the gate, first episode, there's really only two things that we need to take from it, if I may. There's two things, okay? One, oh shit, the fucking mayor was a human the whole time. What a bitch. What a fucking bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So
That was a pretty bold statement, I think.
So like that was a thing. And then number two, your boy got the puss. It's the only reason he wanted to live. Live for the pussy. Woo!
Well, okay,
All
but
about
they
the
kept her in the
ladies.
show.
Oh
She
my
was
gosh.
only here to give him that puss when he needed. Woo!
Oh, come on. Like, I mean.
Well, she gave him a reason to live, or to want to live. I
Right.
guess.
The vagine.
Okay.
Oh my
well,
gosh. Well, I mean, like, okay, yeah. There's two ways to look at that. You know, it's one. You could be shallow and be like, yeah, pussy be good. Or you could also say, I feel like Obama. Wow, I'm like pausing. Did you catch that? I was
Yo,
like,
remember when Obama
I
said
gotta-
pussy be good? Man.
No, but you could also you could go down the path of historical psychologists and be like, hey, Freud, what's the great motivator of the world? Well, sex.
Here's my thing, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I felt like Shinichi got he went he kind of reverted a bit from I felt like where he was at in previous
dude, I
episodes.
totally agree.
He suddenly got
Especially when
incredibly
Maxim
paranoid
realized-
and scared again.
I think when
only.
Miggy started to check out, I think there was a
Yeah.
correlation there, because Miggy was
Right.
just like, what was that? The beginning of episode 22, I think, when he's running and he's seeing the mayor's face and everybody.
Oh,
Well, not the mayor's face, the other guy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Whatever his fucking name is. Yeah.
And then Miggy was just not responding.
Yeah.
I think there was a correlation there that
that was a
Miggy
good
wasn't
scene.
helping him calm down the way he normally does.
Right. And I guess it
was-
was well, you can go, Joe. Sorry.
He was just so intimidated by that guy.
Yeah.
And he knew in that moment, because what happens, he's on the road and the big bad Parasyte dude literally jumps off of the building and lands in the street and just looks at him.
Yeah.
Says, oh, you're a part of this, huh? You're gonna die.
I don't know,
And then the
dude.
only reason he doesn't kill him is because other people are around and he's like, forget it. He in that moment came face to face and he's like, I'm gonna die, and then was saved out of just grace, and that'll scar you, and then all of a sudden your one protection is asleep and unable to help you.
Yeah, and
I
and
would
it's-
start
and-
panic running.
And it is definitely it's not that they didn't give good explanations, but I don't know, it just I was starting to check out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't really
When were you doing that?
like just during this whole fucking fear segment.
Okay.
Like it's not that I didn't understand it, but I guess it's just not where I assumed this show was gonna go, and that's the thing that I think this whole last 4 episodes for me, I didn't expect it to go like this at all.
Yeah.
We
The
figured out.
writers really had a lot to say in these last.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one big monologue.
Yeah, we figured
Yeah.
out who the Eye Man was. I mean, it was that guy. So
I was so disappointed. I wished it would have been Shinichi.
Here's my thing, I guess. So yeah, we get past the episode. He's fucking paranoid, and then inevitably after having sex, he's better now, sort of, like enough where he's
Well,
got
he
a
just finally
reason to live.
feels like he has a human connection again.
Something
And
like
he
that.
found a purpose, and he's got his
Yeah.
head screwed on straight.
I guess. Like, I don't know. It just didn't. The way
flew
that
over you guys said, and I'm mad.
I did not. What did you say?
His head got screwed on
Oh
straight.
my god! Oh my god! This is the
he
level we're at.
Because
So
he got screwed.
he got the fuck.
Yeah.
He got the fuck.
I mean, and Migi got to see that, and he was like,
yeah.
"All right, I've seen it all
That
now."
I've seen it
dude,
all
that
now.
was all I could think of.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
that too. You know.
Was that old scene of Migi being like, "Dang, I thought I was gonna see sex." Literally
Yeah.
was playing in my head the whole time. I was like, ah.
Was he? You
Here
know,
we go,
like
Miggy.
did he like get involved? You know what I'm saying?
I was waiting.
I
oh
hope
my
to
gosh.
God he did not.
Oh my gosh. I
Hey,
was
man,
kind of waiting.
That opens up some opportunities. You know.
Yeah, right. I was waiting to just like see an eye. Like
All I'm
pop
saying
out
is if
and
he
just,
can if he can corporealize a blade out of cells, he can corporealize a dick.
Oh,
I mean, sure.
no, for sure.
Regardless of that, let's move on. So he fucks the girl, and then
I love how we're just like go back to this.
yeah.
point.
So then they're like trying to figure out how to fucking kill this guy. They go out into the forest.
The big bad.
They try to.
Well, no. First,
What?
he was on the walk of shame.
What?
He was on the walk of shame the next morning, and Miggy's like, "Hey, sorry to ruin the mood here, but he's coming."
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's straight up
Well,
like
yeah.
He was
leaving
in the
her
car.
house.
And then
And
he's
Miggy-
driving the
steal a car.
car. Yeah,
That's
Miggy's driving the
right.
car. So the point is,
Yeah.
so they fucking throw a car at him. It doesn't
That's-
work
Oh,
because
so cool. So
which honestly, like, I guess no, to me, see Joe, like, I don't know, like, it didn't really hit me that much because I was like, of course it's not gonna fucking work.
well,
I think if they
well,
was
not
testing
the
the
fact that
fire
it
thing.
didn't work.
But like,
I don't
the
even
thing
know
was
about
though,
that.
he didn't even get injured. Like, he just like when they look down the hill, he's just standing there next to the fucking blown up car.
Yeah.
Like
But
it
In his
I
did
was-
fucking
literally
tracksuit.
nothing.
I was hyped at this point because at this point
I don't know, dude.
it was unexpected for me because they were running. They were both just driving away, and then you see the Parasyte man driving a car. Which first off, I laughed at. I don't know about you guys, but I was like,
I think
just
think
something
this is a
about
good
him
point.
driving a car. I was like, this
Yeah.
is funny.
This is a point in anime where like the attire that they're wearing like says a lot, because in anime people don't change their like clothes very often.
They really don't.
But this guy comes rolling up in like a full-on tracksuit, and you know he is like ready for not like a zip-up like warm-up tracksuit. No, like he's about to run the mile.
Yeah. It's
so
definitely one of those
seriously,
things
Sponsored
where
by Adidas.
it would have been a lot more intimidating if he was just in like a suit, but instead,
Right?
he shows
He's,
up
like,
with that
tracked
young
out.
sponsorship.
He's ready to sweat.
And
Yeah,
and
dude.
so you see him driving, and then all of a sudden he looks up, and then there's the car that Migi and Shinichi are driving, just hurtling through the air towards him, and then you see him again, and you see him again, and he's down at the bottom of the.
Nothing happened, and then nothing happened.
ravine.
It didn't do fucking anything.
But they see him down there, and Migi's like, "All right, run." And I was like, "Ah!" And I don't know, something about that got me hyped. It's just like,
You know what didn't
maybe,
get
maybe
me hyped?
I just like running. I don't know.
What fucking
I
didn't?
just-
You know what didn't get me hyped? afterwards, after they started enacting this plan to take him down, the whole plan was really interesting and cool, and like it was like them almost getting it done and all that shit. Like I was on all of that, and then Migi just dies, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I wasn't like, sure what was gonna happen there.
I was like, damn, that was quite something.
Migi's death was done as well as it possibly could for a big blob with a face that you really don't feel that attached to, because they've kind of made him to be like this like emotionless thing.
See, but I felt not necessarily attached, but I guess like his importance as a character and like him keeping Shinichi going was so big that like when he just kind of fizzled out, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just move on from this then, and like.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and I'm really not trying to be super negative on these last four, because it's like, at no point was I sitting there thinking it was bad, but I don't know what it was about it. It just wasn't hitting for me.
Yeah.
And then,
I
I don't know. So, because then, like, after this, I felt like there was, like, a huge calm down with him showing up at this old lady's place, and then he's like going through all this stuff, and I was like, I don't really want a calm down moment right now. Like, I was like hoping that these last four was just gonna be like full throttle, boom, 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 boom,
constant hype train, yeah.
And instead it was like it had this whole like sink in, and then he goes back out to fight the guy, and like that fight was cool, and the way that like Migi ends up coming back was really interesting and all. Like I like that.
I think the whole conversations with his cells and his dreams.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't look the way it did. Like they've done this before in the show where like he talks to Migi, and it didn't really come to anything.
Yeah.
But these like dream shots they do in the last few episodes are like really off-putting.
They're very weird.
And they're trying to say some, like, profound stuff.
Yeah.
But it's coming from this, like, what looks like just, like, a, like, paper crochet gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. Honestly, the feeling that it was emanating, honestly, really reminds me of that, like, right at the end of Evangelion, when it gets really fucking introspective and it just decides to like just take you as an audience member like way out of the universe that you were in and just like drop all of these statements in front of you where it's trying to where it's basically just telling you the message, even though it doesn't need to tell you it, but they decided, no, I'm just going to tell you the message of this. And that was a thing that was getting to me where, in these dream sequences, and then later when he, like what you were saying, Joe, when Shinichi just starts to monologue about, oh, humanity doesn't care about the world, but they say that they do, but they don't even care about themselves, and like he just starts thinking, and I'm like, okay, but you already told us this with the story. Why are you just having the main character and this is a thing that anime does a lot, and I don't know if it's just like a Japanese storytelling thing, but personally I feel like we don't need to just be spoon-fed something like that.
I think it's just the writers not trusting us.
Yeah.
Which is really their fault, because I feel like they did a pretty good job of giving us the point of the story.
Yeah.
So then doubling back and being like, but just in case, catching everybody up.
Like, just in case you didn't realize that this was about like not only environmentalism, but like the human psyche and like where we stand as like the predators of the world and blah 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 blah. Like, we're just gonna tell you. It's like, okay.
As soon as they introduced the large garbage piles in the wilderness.
Yeah, dude, they couldn't have been more like.
I was like, what?
They were like punching us in the face with it.
But like I kept thinking, I was like, okay, maybe this is gonna be like they're gonna use it for fire because the granny lady said one time it caught on fire and almost.
But nope.
And I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna lure him into the thing and then just like set the whole thing on fire.
But no.
But that didn't happen. But I do think it was cool, kind of almost fully redeeming, the way that he used like a scrap metal he found in the trash heap to actually stab the main bad guy, and then it was the infectious germs that were on that thing that saved him.
Can I say one thing that did bug me about this? And it's not him stabbing him and like that whole part. I think the thing that bugged me about it was when he initially, because the reason why he stabs him there is because he remembers, like, seeing him when he hops across the building into the street, and he saw that he had bullets that weren't healing, like in that section of his back, right? So okay, great. I thought when we were watching that scene on the street, because if you remember, like it shows them, like having that little conversation where he's getting really scared. And I thought it was showing, like, from a Shinichi POV, him focusing on the bullet holes back then. So it bugged me that it bugged me that he didn't remember that was his weak spot until after he lost Migi. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That part just confused me a little bit. It just because I was like, because even. Literally, like, he was talking with Migi, and Migi was like, we need to strategize. And I was like, didn't you see the thing? Oh, you didn't?
I think it...
Or, oh,
they tried to make it seem like the stress of the situation brought the memory back, but... Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, it's just a small gripe. So,
did you guys
I'm with you
like
there.
the redesign of the main villain here? Because I think...
It was cool.
One of the best parts of this whole ending was... seeing him in the forest, like all curled up asleep.
I like that.
That was
pretty
cool.
creepy.
I like that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Shinichi having like all this confidence, going up to him with like,
I
feel really good about this.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah. And I did like that the big like hit when like the little bits of Migi that were in his shoulder like come out and stop the fucking strike and like then. Like, do the whole thing where he comes back around. Like, I did like all of that. It was really cool. And then, I guess for me, it was like, I was watching all of this, and I was more or less fine with it. And then this last episode, I just really, I kind of didn't, in a way, I kind of wish it wasn't there. Like, I don't know.
The very last episode?
The very last episode. Like,
yeah. The very last episode is the equivalent to me of, like, the last episode in a season of Dragon Ball Z when they finish the fight and then they come home and just say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like that. It's like the Chi-Chi episode.
Yeah, no, it's consistent in every arc, or like after the tournament, and then there's one episode where they're just like, "Wow, everybody fought so hard and congrats and that was a crazy tournament or whatever." Then they go out to eat and stuff their faces, and like that's the whole episode, and you're like,
and
"How was
Roshi
that?"
Gets stuck with the bill.
Yeah,
we all know the episode.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Wow, I've seen this before."
Yeah,
but
But I did swear aloud in this episode. I was sitting at watching by myself.
Yeah.
And then you see the guy, Origami, I think his name is.
Yeah, the fucking serial killer, yeah.
Yeah, and that reveal, I did say, like, fuck.
Yeah, I had a moment like that, too, because I started thinking, I was sitting there and I was like, are they actually going to take the girl out, like, last episode after everything's, like, good?
I know. I was almost certain they were going to.
I thought they did.
Too. I thought they were. We all thought they did. Yeah.
I thought they did. I was like, my jaw dropped.
When she was falling,
Somebody. Okay, so Ethan, use your wonderful image painting skills with your words. Tell him we got to tell him how he's walking through the street and we see this guy. Like, start there, please.
Okay. Well, we see the guy. I found out that this was made by the same studio that did One Punch Man.
Is it really?
Wait, really?
and Death Note.
They do
Yeah.
all have decently similar. That makes sense. They have because we made the comment about how the guy looked like
That's
Saitama
why
when
his
he got
face
mad.
looks so similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, we see the One Punch
It's all
Man
coming together.
vision coming from like under a brim of a hat, and Shinichi's like, "Is it? I'm gonna keep walking a little bit."
Yep.
So they go down a little further, and his heightened senses pick it up again, and he sees him kind of sneak down an alley. So Shinichi says, "Hold my beer," to Murano, which is really her purse that she was carrying.
Yeah, and that was like the moment where I'm like, Shinichi, bruh, come on, man. You know what he's doing.
don't leave
you
her
know what
alone.
he's doing.
Yeah, says, wait here, I got ass to go kick.
Literally hitting that Fred Jones, let's split up, guys. Fucking just
And then-
fucking idiots.
Oh,
fucking dumbass.
he must have slipped down this incredibly narrow alley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right?
don't see him on the other side. Let me just go ahead.
And
anyway,
this
he
man.
makes an
Oh my god.
absolute rookie mistake.
Yeah.
And of course it goes wrong. So he turns back. Oh, it's a big surprise. Murano's got a knife to her neck. So he takes a step to the roof of the building next door. Shinichi has no abilities besides high stamina, so he just takes the stairs.
And these other two fucking employees, they're just trying to have a little love moment. And
No,
then they
She was
just,
way too
that
young
was
for him.
that was a teacher and student, bro. You
Yeah.
didn't. That was a teacher
hey
student.
man, this is Japan, all right? We welcome all types of love. Don't sit
I
here and
think
deny.
it's still
don't,
frowned upon, dude.
Hey Joe.
What?
Don't fucking
What?
sit here and act like you're on that moral high ground because during Science Fell in Love and I tried to prove it, you were trying to put the teacher together with the fucking
Listen.
girl. So don't give me that shit.
Yeah.
Don't give me that shit. Don't
I'm
give
not
me that
saying
shit.
I-
Now it's
I'm not
creepy. Just
saying-
because
I
the fucking
just-
teacher doesn't
I
go
just-
and run around and hike and goes ho 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 all over the place and you want a beer because he
didn't-
wants a cafe. Fuck you. Anyways, Ethan, please.
Come on.
Wow. All right. Well, they become fodder anyway, because he takes them out.
Yeah, they just get killed, so.
Yeah, and then he's just kind of
I
picking out
love-
his spot. I'm just gonna go stand over here. So then Shinichi comes around the corner, and what does he see? The guy with the knife, the Murano, right by the ledge. And he starts giving his whole bit. He says, "First, I'm gonna try bad cop. I'm gonna get you." That doesn't work. So then he tries good cop. "I'll do whatever you want, man. We're all good here. We're all friends." That didn't work either. So then he starts to say, "You know what? You're right. Part of me is a parasite." And Murano says, "Don't say it. You're the most human being I know. I don't know you very well."
Dude, I was not
Yeah,
in it.
you were at school for like 14 days of the year.
I was
But let me tell you what.
Oh my god.
I think I understand now where you were the other days with this guy.
And the,
Or
and
other
the
people
whole,
like him.
And the whole thing
And that's
is
why
just
you're such a man.
And the, oh my god.
That's why
and
you're
the whole,
such a man.
And the whole thing is just the fucking murderer going, "Aren't I the real human? Because I fucking murder people. Aren't I the real human?" And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my.
They were walking a line here where, like, I kind
Fuck.
of liked the message at the end of the previous episode. Where it
Exactly.
was like, the parasites are just kind of doing what humans do. Like, I kind of get it.
And then they had to really shove it.
But then they're like, but humans are the real villains now.
Humans fucking suck.
Like, I don't, I whatever. You know, I didn't make the choice. So then he kind of uses his last bit of, like, key or whatever the fuck Migi left in him
Yeah.
here, where he's like, my stamina's just enough.
He gets his.
I hated
yeah.
his whole, like, mind process here, but anyway, it
Yeah.
kind of worked.
He gets his Luffy stretch arm and he saves her.
Yeah. But they really tease the fact that, like, she's gone, and then he has, like, a mental break, and then Migi evidently saved her, even though, like,
He was supposed to be gone or whatever. But
I don't know.
But that
Who
wasn't
knows?
even.
Who
but,
knows
like, that
what
wasn't
happened?
even explained because he basically, like, Migi explains it as, like, I'm gonna go away deeper into the dream realm. And it's like, fucking
Yeah.
what?
he's like he put himself into a coma.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
but he like specifically was like, I'm gonna like travel and research the mind or something, and I was like, I don't know what's happening in these episodes. You've
Yeah, it was
lost
bizarre.
me.
But I think the part that confused me the most of this entire ending was when he's standing over the body of the guy who blew up. And he's like,
yeah,
okay,
I forgot about.
he's got a
this.
50-50 chance
of coming back. Yeah.
They go through literally what I think is 3 or 4 minutes of
Just
like dialogue
deliberating.
between him and Migi, and
Yeah.
then like inner dialogue of like why he's leaving this guy to rest, and like it's in nature's hands now.
Yeah.
And then he walks away, and there's like a 10-second bit of what is really just like kind of doubt, like, oh, maybe I should. I'm just gonna forget about my previous 3 minutes that we just watched and you know try to take to heart.
That was one part that got me too.
And now he's back, and now there's just a cut to him over the body with the cleaver in his hand.
Dude,
and you're like,
Ethan's
how did we
gone.
get here?
Ethan's. How are you? Is he glitching out for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Okay.
you all know what I was gonna
I
say.
know exactly
'cause
what
I
you
said
said,
it over
even
here.
though I didn't hear it, Ethan.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm upset
Yeah.
about that.
I just, I totally hear you, Ethan.
I can't.
Like I don't hear
Face
you, but I know what
frozen.
you're saying.
Face frozen
I
so
know.
hard.
Fuck, dude.
No, but that was one of the points where I was super confused too.
I just like what are they trying to say, bro? Like where's what are they trying to go for? Okay, let's
Yeah.
pause. Let's fucking pause because Ethan sounds like he's like going into the Matrix. So let's make sure that we can get him back in here.
So literally say all
A
of that over
notification
again.
came up. A notification came up that someone is online that I know playing Fallout New Vegas, and it crashed everything.
I want you
Crashed
when you go in to edit this to fucking just. I want you to cut back in exactly when you said that because that's great.
Okay, I will.
gold.
I will do that.
Just
Oh my
crashed
goodness.
everything.
I'm probably gonna keep freezing a little bit, but I don't know why.
That's okay.
Okay.
I mean, we got the gist of what you were saying because I totally agree. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like what message were they trying to go for? Because it's like they go one
Right.
way and then they just flip turn it, and then like, nah, let's kill him. And
Yeah,
it's
my
fine.
Well, it was like-
my ideal scenario there would have been he walks away, and you kind of get like a
Fuck.
tease.
He just froze.
Am I gone?
No, you
No,
were
you're
for
good.
a second.
You're back.
You were for a second. You literally
Okay.
went. You
Me
literally
and Jacob
went-
both
you
like
literally
froze
went,
for a
"My
second,
ideal
and we're just like
situation
holding our breath.
was," and then just nothing.
Oh my
shit.
god,
Holy
this is rough.
Okay.
Okay,
Say it,
so
say
he
it
walks
again,
away.
Say it again.
And then we get a tease one way or the other on this. If this guy is like dead or alive, you don't really know, and that's it. You never see or hear from that guy again. And by that guy, I mean the big bad guy.
Right.
But not the cut back to the fucking Friday the 13th Jason shot with a machete over his head. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
So I mean, my
And what was
thing-
he even cutting? The head was gone.
he
The
was
spine?
he was further separating the cells and stuff.
I
but-
think it was specifically they said like they had to like fully separate like the fucking brain from everything or something. Like I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I don't fucking know.
so because that was a part that like threw me for a loop too, because I was like, wait, I thought he said that he was going to do like his moral right thing of not actually finishing him off and stuff.
Right,
and then
which
he
is
went
the
back
way
and-
you complete it to be like, see,
Yeah.
humanity can strive past its violent tendencies.
But you could also look at it as saying it's a very human thing to still be like Feral and Feral,
Feral?
wow, thank you,
Oof, oof.
Feral, Feral, and want to still just protect what you love, because he was saying, if I don't make sure he's not gonna come back, then somebody else I care about or love might die, and there's that whole thing. And then they bring it back when he's on the rooftop talking to the serial killer, and the serial killer saying, I am the most human because I am actually not stopping myself from wanting to kill people. Everybody else is liars, and they're monsters, and they're fakes, and like everybody else are the real abominations. I'm just being true to myself. And it's I a piece of me really thought that it was actually a good commentary.
No,
about
I want to say I totally agree with you that it's an interesting commentary.
Yeah.
I guess my gripe just comes from I didn't expect that this was how they wanted to end the show, I guess. And that's just a very personal gripe. It's not that like I don't get it. And I get why people like this show, and I still like this show. And this is very similar like to fucking Evangelion, where you're kind of following a fucking plot line, and then towards the back end, it just starts going into like, here's some deep ass questions, and that's all we're gonna focus on, you know. So like I get it.
Yeah.
I guess it's just I didn't want this from the ending.
I will say this, because I feel like we've been dumping on it a lot.
We have been this episode.
I'm happy with the ending. It's not like I'm like disappointed.
Right.
I'm super, super glad we didn't do like some like trip to the mothership where we see like the Queen Parasyte or something, which I think was definitely an option. And God, that would have been bad. Or some bullshit where like he's like, okay, big time jump. 90% of Earth is now like been taken over by parasites, and there's only like 10% of humans that are in hiding or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with what they did, and I'm glad that he kind of got like what we can consider to be a happy ending.
Yeah, he did for sure.
I think.
Yeah, I would say so.
There's just so much. It was 80% good, 20%
Off.
Migi having like a heartfelt goodbye, and then him waking up and being like, I remember all of that, Migi. Like, then why did we do it? Like, just come on.
Yeah, and I thought all of that was just really odd. I felt like that was just them trying to figure out how the fuck do we get rid of the alien on his hand now. And it just
right.
I don't know.
Just leave
well,
it dead.
You know what, Ethan?
I mean, I don't know.
What's your rating, Ethan?
Yeah.
What's your rating?
I'm gonna give this show. Well, let me do this because I think I've been in an A. I don't even have my phone. Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I've been in an A for a while. Looking at the anime, I have it in my A list on my phone here. I don't think so. Like my A pluses are what you'd expect my A pluses to be, like My Hero and all that. I don't think it's on that level. But if you go down to my B's, my B pluses are like Soul Eater and The Boy and the Beast and like Naruto Shippuden. I actually think it's just a step above that. So I'm going to put it at A minus. This is where Parasyte now lives. It's been entered. I think it did go down a little bit for me in the end. But it's still a show, like, if I knew someone was into action and into, you know, not necessarily, like, body horror, but, like, this has a weird horror element that I can't even describe.
It's essentially body horror. It's also, like, alien horror kind of stuff.
It's a lot of, like, flesh and blood and, like...
Yeah. It's gore.
Just kind of being uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
It's like an exploration of fear.
Yeah.
More than just like actually being scary, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really not scary. It really isn't.
But it is an anime where I can comfortably say it lists on it's an anime I would recommend to people, and it's an anime I think I will like continue to remember and think about. Unlike a lot of animes where I'm like, did I watch that in like 3 years?
Yeah, dude, that's exactly
You know what
why.
I mean?
That's exactly why I started a list, because I started to realize how many shows I like forgot.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be one of those because it's got such a different flavor to it. So yeah, I'm giving it an A-. I enjoyed the show. I'm glad we did it. I'm sure there are a lot more horror anime that is much more in the horror adjacent. Well, I think we were horror adjacent. I think there's much more like straightforward horror.
Yeah.
That we could have done. Horror. God, I hate how I say that word. I don't quite.
Dude, it's a tough word, bro. Honestly.
So there we are.
I think that's just your Midwest coming out. You got, I don't know.
Horror?
Yeah, it's hard.
Horror.
The double R. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't do you well. But all.
How do you feel, Joe? How do you feel?
I was wavering on where I was, and then listening to Ethan's, I think I got a solid rating in my head. I think I went down. I am going to say it's at a B plus. First off, first minor point, I would put Shippuden above this.
I think a lot of people would be upset with Ethan's place for Shippuden. I've still not seen it.
He said that, and I was
But
a little triggered.
man,
I'm not gonna lie.
it's all about opinions. It's all opinions.
Have you looked up how much Shippuden is filler?
Okay, yeah.
It's literally 40%, I think.
Well, at that point, then, is it just anyway? Different discussion.
That
different
was
discussion.
about
for
that.
another
You
I-
guys
I-
know how big.
dude, I
you
just
guys
felt-
know how big
holy
pacing
shit.
is for me
I
with anime.
felt-
Pacing
I
is
felt
such a
the
big
heat.
thing.
I felt the heat of the argument beginning. That was like Joe started like his eyes went blue and then Ethan's went red. That was, I could feel it. I could feel the energy. Holy
Oh my
shit.
gosh.
Okay, get back
So-
to your rating.
but yeah. So B plus. Because I know I've said it a lot throughout the course of the show. I love the commentary. I love the discussions that it provokes and that it introduces. But what I don't like is the constant bombardment of the topics being blatantly thrown in your face, like in these last couple episodes. Like Ethan kind of, like everybody kind of alluded to, it's better if it's like something that the audience actually thinks that they figured out rather than is just told. And
I think this would be a much more interesting podcast right now.
If Shinichi didn't just tell us what was, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because we would be able to have like that discussion to get there on our own, which I think we totally could have been able to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it almost
like,
but it feels moot because it was already said. And it's like, what did you want? Do you want me to say, yeah, I agree, humans suck? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like I wish we could, like I wish we had all these little clues that we could then be like, oh, I think this means this. I think this means this, and but instead it was all just blatantly laid out in dialogue. Which, I mean, to say everything that they wanted to say would have taken much more time. Like they would have had to really start that from the start. And well, I guess maybe you could even.
They kind of did.
They did actually.
It's literally
they
they just explained it to you at the end.
Yeah, it was a really well written novel, and then at the end it turned into like a 4th grade essay of why things are this kind of a thing.
Which,
you know.
I mean, I guess how that does happen often. You know.
So yeah. So I was actually kind of disappointed on that level, but also like there was a large piece of me that really wanted to see like some next level confidence and action and power displayed from Shinichi and Migi.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we saw this, not steady, but we saw an increase in their combat ability, and I was just so prepped and primed for some super cool thing. And we saw the main big bad guy shift and get cooler, and I was like, dude, come on! And it just it didn't do it. So I'm at B+ is what I'm gonna end this guy on, I think.
Okay. I was also sitting at an A for quite a while, and I did the same thing that you did, Ethan, where I looked at my list, and that's where I actually came to the realization of where I really was at with it, because I was sitting there in my head like, well, I guess I'm still at an A, and then I started looking at the shows, and I was like, Demon Slayer I have on my list in my like fantastic category, and I said that was an A.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, I don't like this as much as Demon Slayer. So then I started looking at the things in my fantastic category, and I was like, there's nothing in this category where I could look at Parasyte and go, yeah, I really liked Parasyte more than this. So then I go down a step into my really good, and I realized that I'm at a B+ as well, because it's a really good show, but just like how I literally had to go back in the podcast and think about how I described Science Fell in Love, because I stopped that one at a B+, and I described it as a show that I really liked, but I don't know if it's really like hitting me in a way where I'm like, fuck yeah, kind of thing. And this show is in a very similar feeling to me as it ended, where it's like there's parts of it that I really like, and there's a fair bit that I really don't like, and in turn I literally put it right above Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it. Not saying
Oof.
Not well. The thing is, but Ethan, you got to remember that you liked Science Fell in Love the least out of the three of us. So, it's don't
fair.
you know.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Like I thought Science Fell in Love was a really good show. So in turn, this show, I also think is really good. And you also got to take into respect that category that I have it in. There's not a lot of shows. Well, there's not a lot of shows in it as well. So that gap would probably widen as I saw some more that were around that same level. I agree with Joe where I was kind of just thinking things were going to ramp, and I felt like things calmed. And I'm normally a person that enjoys shows and movies that are like trying to make you think and trying to display a message in a metaphorical way and that kind of thing. But for whatever reason with this show, I just don't like how they did it. And I also feel like it's a very odd message, not in the sense that I don't think it's a good message, and like it is like to think about like how selfish human beings can be and how they affect the world around them, like without taking things into context. It's like that is a message that needs to be heard, but I don't know, like the way that they said it just didn't like hit me at all. Like I just like I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it. I had a weird time with these last 4 episodes. That's how I would put it. So yeah, B+. Like I still really like it, and I definitely like a lot of I like the horror stuff. I like the weird designs, and I like how things were progressing. But I think why I was sitting at an A for so long is because I was so excited to see where it was going. And if you listen back to the last episode, I was so sure that they were gonna fucking hit full like home run coming in on these last 4. And when it didn't,
all of us.
And when it didn't, I think maybe I was just holding too high expectation. And it kind of just it just didn't really hit all the way there. It still had good parts, but it just wasn't all the way there.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at on it. But hey, man,
Okay.
that
Those
was
are also pretty good grades.
that was a fucking journey. That was a good show.
Yeah.
We had a good time with that. So going forward now, we are going to be moving into the next Choosarama, and Kat decided that we are watching shows pre-1990, which I don't know about y'all, but I'm having a bitch of a time finding a show. But we're
Yeah,
going to make
I know
it
that.
happen.
The lists have been really interesting to look at,
Absolutely.
where you're like, there's such a nostalgia factor with some of these names and like images.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then you pull up a trailer or something and you're like, oh no, like that's what it looked like.
No, dude. I was telling Jacob before you got up on here. I found this one show, and I was so hyped for it, and then I sat down to watch the first episode, like we do, and like I was like I can't bring this to the table. I wanted to so bad. I might still talk
you
about
say-
it. I don't know.
Can you say
But
which show?
I tried to ask him, and he
Still-
said he
I
wanted
might
to hold
still
it.
talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
he said he wanted to
Yeah,
hold it back.
but I was just like, oh man, I can't.
no,
But
yeah.
I will tell you guys this.
What?
I will tell you this.
What?
So, like, I've had a hard time finding one. But like, I know exactly what movie I'll do if I win.
Oh my god.
like,
Oh my god.
like,
That's something. I think
I
funny
know
enough.
exactly.
Funny enough, Joe. I think I do too. I think I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a movie in mind as well.
Wow.
But yeah, like my main problem that I've been running into is I see a lot of shows that I would be interested in watching, and that I would feel good to pitch, but they're all so fucking long. Like a lot of these old, like I definitely think it's a new school thing to have short series. Because it seems to me like everything I look at that's not like OVAs is just like, they're all like fucking 48 episode this and 60 episode that, and like, I don't know about y'all, I don't want to fucking hop into a 60 episode show right now. So
Yeah.
I'm like trying to avoid that. I'm trying to find a show that's not super crazy long. I think I might have found one, but I'm still searching. But regardless, that's what we're bringing to the table. I'm very curious to see how Kat's going to take on like some older shows, and
I
like
know.
what she's going to decide. Because I feel like, at least out of the shows that I've been looking up, they all have real weird concepts. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm curious. I'm
some
curious.
of them, some of them are straight goofy.
It's that 80s shit,
Like-
dude, you know?
Oh man.
Um,
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's it. That was Parasyte the Maxim. Thank you guys for sticking along and listening through this series with us. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to follow us, you can subscribe to us on YouTube at Devil Fruit. Make sure to hit like on those videos and click that bell. And,
my goodness.
And listen, dog, you gotta hustle. You know?
my God.
You gotta hustle. And then, go
Oh.
follow us on Spotify at Devil Fruit as well. We
Yes.
out here. We know y'all listening in, and we appreciate it. And then
You Canadians.
and that one Canada person, that one 30-year-old lady out there, dude, fucking peace, you know? I love it. I
Yeah.
love you. If you want to follow us on Twitter to keep updated on when we post new episodes, follow us at Devil Fruit Corp. That's CORP. We usually upload every Monday, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, once a week, every Monday. So, and if you want to follow us at our personal Instagrams and what have you, you might have to delve deep into the dreams of the... Oh, man.
When I want you to do it. Come on, pull it back. Pull it back. You got this.
You gotta reach your hand out as if we are falling off of a building and reach out for those Instagram handles. And all you gotta do is believe. You gotta believe, and then your alien hand will find it for you.
Believe it.
Oh, God.
Oh, we'll see y'all next time.
God, we're filthy weeds.
Have a nice night.